My name is Ronnie Watts, and we're at Greenhaven Preserve with the natural burial. We always say it's simple, it's sustainable, and it's meaningful. Families have been doing this for thousands of years. This is nothing new. You know, we're just going back to the old times. And we're in it all for the conservation. We do not allow embalming. We do not allow a metal casket. You can be buried in your blue jeans. You can be wrapped in a shroud. You don't have to, you know, it's just so simple. I have so many people when they first come to me and they say, well, Mr. Watts, we've told them what we're planning on. And people are saying, that just doesn't sound right. And I said, you know what, there are a lot of naysayers out there, but once somebody comes to our funeral and they see how this thing's done, people say, we just could never comprehend that a funeral could be so meaningful and so beautiful. The last funeral I had here was like in November, and it was a 24-year-old young lady that got killed up in the, somewhere up around York, somewhere in that area. And she lived up there, but her parents lived down this way. And they contacted us. They had went to some funeral homes and talked about price. And I mean, they came to me and they were almost in tears. They said, Mr. Watts, they said, we just don't have that kind of money. And I said, well, you know, this is it. When you're looking here, we're talking $2,800. That's it. There's not going to be anything that's hidden. And for us to be able to give them those resources, they said it just eased their mind. They didn't know what they were going to do. Insurance companies said funerals today might be $8,000 or more. I just don't see that from what I see in South Carolina. I look at the way the funerals are in South Carolina to be probably, I don't think you could get one hardly for $8,000. With buying the cemetery plot and all the, you know, with the product you buy with the funeral, and then you're using the funeral home, I'd say it's probably more like $12,000 plus. It's very simple with us. We give you a 10 by 10 plot for $1,595. We give you a opening and closing of the grave for $500. So you've got $2,095. Now that's all we collect, okay? We have resources that will come to pick up the body for the family for $300 pretty much anywhere in the state of South Carolina. They can go out of state for so much per mile. And then we also have resources that build the pine boxes. They start at $300. If you're a carpenter or you're pretty handy, you can build your dad's pine box yourself. Well, we have 10 acres that we've already been approved through DHEC. Those 10 acres will probably net out close to 3,000 plus plots, okay? And then we're also approved through DHEC for another 30 acres. DHEC will only approve us at 10 acres per each, you know. So once we get through with the completing of 10 acres, we go to phase 2, which is the other 10 acres. And then phase 3 and phase 4. So this would go into generations from now. And nothing can be done with the property. It's all the property, because it's a cemetery, it has to remain a cemetery all the time. And everything we have around here is pretty much under the Congaree Land Trust, which the adjoining property. We're in an area that's very, natural resources is really out here. You've got the Congaree Swamp, you've got the Kawasi Basin, so it's a lot. You got the natural resources right up the road from us. So people out here, it's not being developed at all. It's pretty much going to stay like it is, indefinite. I always tell people, nobody complains about a burial with us. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the poor person that's buried here, because they can't do much complaining now. But I'm going to tell you, the families, I have to say we have a 100% track record that when the family comes to us and we do the job, and nobody can comprehend how personal and how meaningful it is for the family to actually have hands-on with the burial. We have a lot of people that'll come, and the family, they'll have the family or friends, they'll fingerprints on the pine boxes. They'll write messages on the pine boxes. We put about a dozen shovels out there every time we have a funeral. And after we get through with the service, if friends or family wants to start covering the body up, we let them do that. I have my grave diggers on standby to take over just whenever everybody gets through out there at the service outside. And we've had some families completely covered the grave up themselves. I had one lady, she brought tears to my eyes when we were through. The kids and the grandkids were here. And she said, well, Mr. Watts, she said, I bet you I can see Kenny up there right now looking down on this and said, Kathy, job well done, job well done. And that, that's pretty neat.